Helen Farmer with you. It is coming up to 3:37. We are going to pick a winner for our Dubai Eye 103.8 big day out at Yas Island. That's on May 23rd. So hop over to the website, keep your fingers crossed, and you could be winning tickets for you and the family. We've got thousands up for grabs to come along and enjoy those record-breaking theme parks and, yes, a good splashy day at Yas Waterworld too.
This is Eye on Education on Dubai Eye 103.8.
Sponsored by Horizon International School, a supportive, student-focused international community school offering premium quality British education for boys and girls from the ages of 3 to 18.
We are talking early years and it really takes me back, buying the tiny uniforms, the nervous drop-offs, and so many questions from parents about, are they ready? Are we making the right choice? Now, early years experts talk about FS1 being far more than your phonics. It's about building confidence, communication skills, independence, and a lifelong love of learning. Susie Leonard is in the studio today, head of FS1 at Horizon English School. And we're talking about what does really matter in those early years, how play-based learning works in practice, and how educators like yourself, Susie, kind of help those little learners settle in and thrive. Thank you so much for being with us. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you, Helen. It's lovely to be here.
What is it that you love about those little ones? And I know some teachers gravitate towards certain year groups or subjects. What is it for you about FS1 that, gets you going very early in the morning and with a big smile on your face?
They're just magical. You never know what they're going to say, what they're going to do. They're just full of joy and awe and wonder, and they haven't had what life has thrown at them yet.
It's
and
all
they're
good
just still
stuff.
so innocent, and they see the magic in everything and the unconditional love that you get from them as their teacher. I can do nothing wrong. Everything I do is wonderful. Everything my TA does is wonderful. And it's just a pleasure to be around them, and it's such a special role, taking that first year of their school life for the parents to trust you with their children and to build those relationships, not only with the children and the families. It's just a privilege.
I think that touches on such an important thing that, the FS in particular, like celebrities around campus, and it stays with them because it does set the tone. It does set this expectation and positive association with learning if it's done right and it's done with passion. And yes, there's the academic side, which we're going to talk about, that seeing those little brains connect and go, oh, and those little moments of wonder. Of mastery, but it's so much more than that. And I wondered, why you think the early years is indeed the foundation of everything that comes later, and perhaps why some people might incorrectly underestimate how important they are.
Yeah, of course. I mean, everyone talks about the importance of play, and it's really hard to see if you're not trained to see what we see. And it really does lay, what we say, the foundations, hence why it's called the foundation stage. If a child cannot communicate, share, take turns, negotiate, problem solve, all of the things they do through play, if they can't do that in life and in the future, they won't be the successful learner that they can be. And it's really important, and that's why we have these prime areas about communication, physical development, and PSED, building relationships. Because no matter how academic you are, if you can't communicate and work alongside people, then there's going to be barriers later in life.
Big time. If people don't want to, play with you, and as we get older, that is about, social skills or working alongside people. It all starts there about
Absolutely.
Reading body language, about
sharing ideas and
collaborating,
working through problems together, which you don't realise, but 3-year-olds do all day long.
So let's talk school readiness. And it's interesting because that term's taken a bit of a different meaning over the last couple of months. It's more about the schools being ready for the kids, but we're talking about kids being ready for school, for FS1. We're in May now, and parents, families have got a couple of months before they might be putting on those tiny uniforms.
Yeah.
Susie, what does school readiness actually mean to you as an FS1 teacher? And it's not about a tick box exercise, not going, you are, not you. No. But in terms of realistic expectation for day one, what ideally would and should be there?
Realistically, what we are looking for is nothing academic. They don't need to know their numbers, their letters. They don't need to know how to read or write their name. What is ideal is if a child is able to communicate their wants and needs. So as their teacher, I can comfort them, I can support them and get to know them in those first few weeks. if they have some independence, obviously things like toileting and taking their shoes and socks off, where they're not always relying on an adult, of course we're always there to support. But it makes the child feel more confident if they're safe, if they're able to do things themselves. And also looking at their separation.
Yes.
Are they ready to feel confident to leave their parents for the short amount of time that they need to for those first few days, and feel comfortable and confident their parent is going to come back?
That secure attachment. It's funny because as parents, we project so much of our own anxieties, especially around school, our feelings about it being positive or negative. And that day one, it's so much more emotional for the parents than it is the kids.
So much harder for the parents.
Whoa.
And we often give advice that around your child, try to hold it together, try to speak about school in a positive term. And when you've dropped them at the door, look at another mum friend who's in the same boat as you, get a coffee in our school cafeteria and have a little cry together. Absolutely. And teachers are around to come and hug you and support that.
And 9 times out of 10, your kid is off and having the time of their life, and we're the ones left crying in the car.
Absolutely. It's a huge milestone for a parent, and Horizon, we put things in place to support that. So we have an area where parents can wait on those first few days. They don't have to leave the school ground. So they know if their child is upset, and more than we can comfort them in a few minutes and they are dysregulated, we will come and get the parents and bring them back.
Now, that's going to be starting school. I think it's really important to acknowledge, especially for those little ones who've been doing distance learning, being at home over the last few months, Susie, is that this idea of going back to school, some will be delighted to have a hug from their teacher and be with their friends again and back in that, that play environment, and with we're going to talk about the classrooms and what's there. Some will have maybe become really attached to mum, to dad, to, caregiver at home, and it's going to feel like a real wrench. And I wondered if you had any advice there when it comes to separation anxiety, we're talking there about being positive, but practically, in the morning, what can help, and how can teachers support that to get that child feeling happy and comfortable again?
I think, yeah, you're right. For some of these children, it's been like a summer break. So they're starting back from the beginning. And I think the important thing is for the parents is to be truthful. We always say to parents, please don't sneak out without saying goodbye. I know that's gut-wrenching for you, but I love you. I'll be back soon. Goodbye. Can't wait to see you. Children have a concept of time. You don't need to say, I'll be back at this time. Just, I'll be back soon. And that way, then the teacher can comfort the child and also communicate with the teacher what's happening, what have they been at home, what are their current interests and needs, what can I get in the classroom that's going to make them feel excited when they come to school, and just really just keep that communication going. And it might even be that they need a shorter return for the littler children. Maybe they just come in for a few hours for the first few days until they build that confidence back up.
Susie Leonard in the studio today, head of FS1 at Horizon English School, had a message here saying, what are signs that an early years environment is genuinely nurturing versus just looking good on the surface? We're going to get into that. Plus, what are some of the books, the areas in the classroom that the little ones are gravitating towards right now? And what can we learn from that in terms of a bit of replication at home? Any questions? Pop them over on 4001.
Dubai Eye 103.8's weather check.
It's sunny.
Coming up to 10 to 4, of course, you've got the debrief looking after you between 4 and 7 today. Just a few more minutes, we're talking education, and then I'm picking a winner.
This is Eye on Education on Dubai Eye 103.8.
Sponsored by Horizon International School, a supportive, student-focused international community school offering premium quality British education for boys and girls from the ages of 3 to 18.
We're talking early years. There might be mud kitchens and role play corners and story time on the carpet, but underneath all of that, children are learning how to communicate, how to regulate emotions, solve problems, build friendships. Susie Leonard is here, head of FS at Horizon English School, and there in FS1 classrooms, we're talking about how young children, what they're loving right now, how early years has been evolving, and of course what we as families can do to support content and confident, curious little learners. I had a question for you, Susie, and I think this is a really interesting one when we've just been talking there about new schools and school tours. What are some signs that an early years environment is genuinely nurturing versus just looking good on the surface? So with your expert early years eye, what would you be looking for as a parent?
What I would be looking for is, yes, it's nice that it's got lovely equipment and it looks lovely, but it should also be messy.
Yes.
There should be signs that children have been in there exploring and having fun. there should be work on the walls that none of it looks the same. If children are
Mark making of all kinds.
Absolutely. There should be no signs of name tracing that's been going on. It should look like children have been in there and they thoroughly enjoyed themselves. There should be paint on the floor. There should be water on the floor. There should be sand. And the toys should be a little bit mixed up. Of course, we all like to keep our rooms tidy and we want it so the children can access what they can. But I would be worried if a classroom was too tidy and had identical displays.
Well said. And happy kids coming back to this idea.
Absolutely, of course.
That's what you want to be listening for as well as seeing.
Yeah.
What right now, when you think about your classroom, where are the hotspots? Which are the areas, the themes, the toys, the equipment that kids are really gravitating to right now, Susie?
I think because of what's happened recently, they're gravitating towards things they don't have at home. So really messy play, the sand, the water, the mud kitchen. We're still managing to get outside in the morning for a little bit before it's too hot. Role play, of course. Children make sense of their world by role playing what's going on and what they see. And to be honest, mine are all having babies at the moment.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, or getting their hair cut. So we've got salon role play and family role play, but mainly things that I've noticed probably what they don't have as much access to at home. Lots of paint all up their hands, on their arms, explorative paint.
That's because I don't allow kinetic sand at home. I'm like, you can have slime either outside or at someone else's house.
Yeah.
What about books? I'm a big reader and big writer. Are there any books right now that are the really popular ones, or even any book recommendations that might help families prepare for starting school come August, September?
I think obviously in FS1 we're lucky that we get them quite fresh and they don't have a big knowledge of books apart from things they might have read at home. So at the moment I find that children just love exposure to as many different types of books, and generally anything that's a bit silly and rhymes and it's a bit has lots of nonsense words in. They really like all things with repetitive phrases. Shark in the Park, they love your classic Gingerbread Man, the Gruffalo, Hungry Caterpillars, but things that are predictable and they know what's going to come next because they like to join in. So if it has, we're going on a bear hunt, so when they can say it the same over and over again, they thoroughly enjoy those kind of books.
It's funny, isn't it, when the books gets it's stuck in rotation as a parent, you're like, I know this
can't
by
read this again.
heart.
Yeah.
When you said bear hunt, I was like, I can't.
But they love that familiarity. And then what we like to do is then introduce something new at least once or twice a week, a new book, something they might not have been exposed to. And I think that's important for us as teachers to show that, so they get that love of learning.
And as we know, books can transport you around the world, teach empathy. Think about, these new situations and what another child starting school or trying a new food or all of these things. It's such a gateway. Just coming back to imaginative play. I always feel a bit silly, with the voices or the being the horse or whatever it might be. But when we look at it from an educator's point of view, Susie, when we think about imaginative play for emotional development and creativity, how might you interpret what's happening in the salon versus how I might see it as a parent?
Because I think we as teachers have done a lot of research at Horizon English School on the quality of our interactions and using really powerful statements and questions when we're playing with the children to draw out as much information as we can, because that's when you find out what they really know. So rather than saying, oh, yes, please, I'd like my hair cut, I might say, oh, I went to a salon once and, they made me a coffee. And then all of a sudden, they're like, I'll make you a coffee. And then you start using other language. Is it expensive? Is it this? And, you can just really open up the role play to get as much information and expose them to as much language as possible. So you're kind of modelling and questioning at the same time. So I might want to introduce a new word like expensive. And they might say, what does that mean? I say, oh, it costs lots of money. Or, and I was literally playing the salon today. And I was like, well, I get my nails done while I'm here too. And then they were saying, what colour would you like? So then I'm testing them. Oh, could you get me the pink one? And can you get me the brown? They were getting the buttons from the maths area and pretending the buttons was nail polish. And
you have the best job.
You do, and it's just completely open-ended. And
I'm sure it's murder on the knees and the back, Susie, but for the smiles and the fun, it must be amazing. Lastly, for parents who are listening going, I'm not sure I can do it. I'm not sure I can say goodbye and get them in their little tiny uniforms. What kind of peace of mind, what reassurance would you give about the passion of the teachers in FS that ensure that this really is the softest of landings and the most fun they're going to have? And what can parents be doing over the next few months to build those happy, confident little learners before school even opens again?
Great question. Well, hopefully the school that you would have chosen for your child will match your needs. By now you would have been to visit them. We have our first Play-Doh party on Friday after school where our new FS1 children will be coming in.
And so the ones that will be starting next
yes,
term.
so our transition is starting from now. So of course we would have met the children through their play observations, and now...
Can I just stop you? Thank you for saying play observations and not assessments.
Not an assessment.
Thank you,
Play
because
observation.
it's harrowing as a parent to think, how are you going to assess my 2-year-old? It's not
No.
an assessment.
It's
Thank
to
you.
see
Sorry.
what we will need to put into place, if anything, if that child chooses our school.
Thank you.
And it's a way to just see what they already know. So we have a lot of transition events coming up. So I would say to the parents, I know it's difficult. I know people are busy and working. Try and attend as much of those events. We have Play-Doh parties and we've had Teddy Bears Picnic. We also send videos. So the children will have a video of us introducing ourselves and talking about our favourite things. Play that more than once. Refer to that over the summer. Keep going back over. Involve them in going to buy their uniform. Make them proud and celebrate it. Make some wonderful memories over the summer, and also plan some nice things to do during that staggered start week, so that you've got something to look forward to together, some precious mummy time, family time. So it's not just about you're going to school and that's only it. You're going to school and then after school we're going to go and do this.
And also, just to come back to your point about separation anxiety and settling in, about the positive talk around it. It's
Absolutely.
also, how lucky are kids now that they can have a look on a website and see other kids, see that school, drive past it,
Yeah,
just
and come for a Play-Doh
bring it
party on Friday and
There you go.
meet their new friends already, and parents can connect. And if you know each other, make some play dates in the summer. Start building those friendships now. And let the class teachers and admin team know if there are children that already know each other, because we will put them in the same class.
Thank you so much. Honestly, it's so reassuring, not just to hear about the passion, but about the practicalities that we don't, as parents, perhaps even know are happening, both in terms of the teaching, but what the kids are getting from as well. Susie, you've got half day tomorrow, so you sound like you're itching to get back into the classroom and have
Yes.
your nails done by a 3-year-old. Susie Leonard, head of FS1 at Horizon English School. And that is it from me today. We are happy to announce a winner this afternoon. Congratulations, Elizabeth Bayot from the Philippines. You've won tickets to join us at our Yas Island Big Day Out. I am back tomorrow. We are going to be broadcasting live from W the Palm, from Akira Back's restaurant. So I'm hoping for a bit of a feed. We're talking food, we're talking fun, getting you in the mood for the weekend with Restaurant Week and so much more. So make sure you're with us from 1 o'clock. Leaving you now with a debrief. Have a good one.
This is Dubai Eye 103.8.
Your home of news, business